As much fun as it is to reinvent the wheel every time we need to do something, it does certainly take a lot of time, effort, and energy. While we can start from scratch every time, we don't actually have to in a lot of cases, especially if we use templates to get ourselves started. Templates aren't just for document making or Canva files. We can make and use them to do future us a favor by making it so that we don't have to start from zero. In this video, we're going to look at 5 templates that I use to help save me time, effort, and energy, and at the end I'll give you versions of each of them in Notion as a free download. But our first idea tackles the problem of weekly organization. If you have a decent few things that ideally you should be doing them every week, but you find that time and time again you end up putting them off to an extent where either they don't get done or they get done in a panic at the end of the week, then this template can help. This one is called day theming, and it works by setting yourself up a weekly schedule that sees you doing particular types of tasks on certain days. By grouping tasks of a particular nature together, it can help with the lag that comes from task switching. So rather than checking your email every single day of the week, maybe you just dedicate email checking time to Tuesdays and Fridays, or do a more thorough job on those days and just do very minimal maintenance on other days of the week. Rather than paying all of your bills as they pop up and feeling like you're continually trying to keep up with those kind of things, maybe Thursdays are the days that you check for and pay all your bills. And you could also batch this with other finance related tasks, like adding money to your savings, updating your budget, or other similar things. To make the template though, first you want to start by brainstorming all of the things that you would ideally do on a once per week or a couple time per week basis, and then tie them to the days of the week that you'd be most inclined to do them, or most want to do them. A lot of us do actually do this already. We have particular days of the week where we do specific tasks. For instance, you might have a particular day that you're most inclined to do your laundry versus a particular day that you're most inclined to go to the grocery store and get your groceries. While we do already have a lot of these patterns, most of the time they're not selected with intention. They just kind of end up happening repeatedly and become routines for us. That, and for all the things we are already doing on a set kind of weekly schedule, there are a bunch of things that we aren't, and those are the things that get put off, shunted to the end of the week, done in a panic because we didn't quite get time for them throughout the rest of the week. By setting up a day theming template though, this gives us an opportunity to check in with ourselves and ask, what am I constantly forgetting to do each week, or feel like I'm running out of time to do each week? And then taking those tasks, assign them to particular days that we'll do them, rather than doing them in the rushed panic at the end of the week. It is also good to note that just because you're tying particular tasks to certain days doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen exactly the same every single week. Oftentimes, one week to the next is going to look a little bit different in terms of the external commitments we have, but by having this template, it means that we're not starting from zero each week. It gives us a starting point that we can build our weekly schedule around, rather than just having a swamp of tasks to do and having to decide every single week which day they should be put on. Instead, we can start by having them pre-assigned and move things if we need to. The next template we have tackles a huge problem area for me, and that is the issue of meal planning. I swear that meal planning is one of the least fun tasks to do in my household because it's just us sitting there staring at each other for way too long being like, I don't know, what do you want to eat? I don't know, what do you want to eat? There can definitely be a lot of decision fatigue that surrounds what should we have for dinner, and also worrying about what recipes pair well with other recipes because they have shared ingredients and you don't want to waste food. The template that can really help us out here though is 4 weekly meal plans. Now you can also just start with 1, but the nice part about having 4 is that then you essentially only end up having each of those meal plans 13 times throughout the year. You can kind of put them on a rotation. It means that you get a bit of variety in what you're eating, and thus you hopefully don't get bored with what's for dinner. When it comes to setting up this template though, what I really like to think about is what kind of meals are going to work well together. I don't want to have a meal plan that is 7 really high effort dinners, because when it gets to the middle of the week, I'm not going to make the meal that takes 3 hours to cook. Instead, I want to have a balance of different protein types, only a couple that are going to take quite a lot of time, effort, and energy to make, Those will probably end up being my weekend meals. And I also want to make sure that the recipes work nicely together, because if there are shared ingredients, I can buy one item and use it across multiple meals. It can be a little bit of an effort to initially set up, but by having these 4 possible weekly meal plans, it means that when you come to do your meal planning for each week, rather than having to pick 7 different meals, you just pick one of the 4 options and go with that. What you can also do to help future you out is write a separate grocery list for each of those 4 plans, so you don't have to spend time doing that as well. Although the initial setup of this kind of template can take a little bit of work, I do find the payoff to be huge, mainly because it just removes that weekly meal planning overwhelm. And by having 4 of them rather than just one that you put on repeat, it also saves the kind of like over repetition of meals, means that I'm less likely to get sick of the foods we're eating. The next template we have to help simplify life in the year ahead though, is one that is going to be particularly helpful for anybody who likes to travel, or those who don't travel all that often and thus have a tendency to forget things. This one is going to be a master packing list, and given the fact that it is a master list, it is going to have anything and everything that you could be packing for essentially any trip. It includes not only the clothes that you need to pack, but also toiletries, any specialty items. So for instance, if you're going somewhere where you're going to be swimming, you need to make sure to pack your swimwear. If you're going to a sunny destination, we need to have our hat and our sunscreen and all of that kind of stuff. Whereas if we're going to a cold destination, we need to have our woolens or our beanie and our scarf. We're not populating this with a list of items that is going to be for every single trip. We're populating it with a list that is for any possible trip. So not the essentials that will come along regardless, but anything and everything that could come along. The idea with the master list though is that before any trip, you make a copy of the list, remove anything that isn't actually going to be necessary, and just pack the stuff that you do need. But by having that really thorough list done in advance, it means that you don't have to rack your brain trying to think of everything that you need to take with you, and thus you are less likely to forget things because you've done all that brain work up front. And you've also only done all that brain work once, which will save future you some time and stress. This one definitely saves not only the time and stress before a trip, but also saves the heartache of being on your trip and realizing, oh, I forgot my aloe vera gel and now I'm sunburned and everything sucks. Go on, ask me how I know. It is definitely a template that I use a lot, even though I don't travel all that much. It just very much helps me out to have a basis to start from, rather than a blank piece of paper and trying to figure out all of the things that I need to pack. Our next checklist very much targets the pain point of feeling like you can't switch off, or feeling like things have been left incomplete when you're trying to change from one task or area of focus to another. Where this very much comes up for me is trying to finish up my workday, switch off from work and transition into more leisure or restful activities, but then my brain sits there thinking, did you do this? Have you done those? What about this task you need to do tomorrow? What if you forget it? The template that can very much help with this though is a wind down checklist. Now this could be winding down in the sense of switching off from work and transitioning into your leisure and rest time, or it could be like a kitchen closeout. So winding down after your evening meal, making sure that your kitchen is all tidied up and you can transition into your evening activities without worrying about the mess that might be lurking in the kitchen for you tomorrow. Regardless of the context though, the way that this helps us simplify our life is by reducing mental clutter, mental overwhelm of wondering whether we did or didn't do something, whether we're going to forget something for the next time we come back to that area, constantly ruminating on the idea of, oh gosh, what if you forget these things that you were supposed to have finished today, but you didn't quite get to it, and what if you don't remember them tomorrow? But the way that we populate this type of template is to think about the small actionable things that we can do to really close off from whatever area we're looking at. Whether that's winding down from work for the day, closing out your kitchen, maybe a nighttime routine for yourself to get yourself sleep ready. We just want a set of simple steps that we can follow in order to ensure that we've done all of the things we need to do and we can switch off from that life area. This one is definitely most helpful in making the transition process a little bit smoother, a little bit calmer, and also a little bit more focused, because without this type of a checklist, we have to decide in the moment what needs to be focused on or what needs to be done to kind of like wind down. Especially because these wind down processes typically happen later in the day, it also means that we don't have to have decision fatigue. By the end of the day, you're already kind of spent. Your energy is kind of tapped. We don't also want to have to make a bunch of choices about how we wind down or round out the day, so having a checklist to follow just makes things a lot simpler. Our next template though, I selected because of its power for being able to help you make more progress on your goals, that one being a goal reflection process. I'm a big believer in the power of reflection. I think it can be so super helpful for helping us set intentions, move forward with direction, but oftentimes people avoid reflection because it's too hard or they haven't been taught how to do it. One of the problems that I found myself running into when it came to reflection is trying to reinvent the wheel with every reflection process, trying to rack my brain thinking of reflection questions that I could answer to do a thorough and in-depth job so I could get the most insights and move forward with the most clarity. But the problem with this is that every time I sat down to do reflection, it made the process more overwhelming, made it more unclear, and it also meant that I took the time I could be using to reflect just to think about what questions I could ask myself. This is where having a goal reflection template can be so super helpful though. Rather than trying to come up with new questions every single time, you have a set of questions that you know work for you and you return to regularly to help you make more goal progress. The specific questions you include in this one are very much up to you because certain questions are going to be more powerful for you compared to others, but the way that I like to think about it is a 3-step process. Looking back, looking in, and looking forward. Looking back is for thinking about what has happened, very objectively, just the what of the reflection. Looking in is about the why, or what this actually means for me as a goal getter. And looking forward is for setting intentions moving forward. By having these preset questions though, it just makes the goal reflection process easier for me, take less time, it's more focused or targeted on things that are going to be beneficial for me to ask and answer for myself, and thus I'm more likely to actually do the reflection and get the benefits from it. I would love to know what other templates you think could be useful to simplify life, but if you wanted templates of the templates we've talked about in this video, then I've got a freebie for you. Either you can use the link in the description box or scan the QR code on screen to jump over to the Notion versions of these templates. That link will give you all 5 of the ones we talked about, and the reason they're in Notion is because Notion is where I store pretty much all of my templates for myself. I like that by having them digitally, I can just duplicate them and reuse them time and time again. And in particular, I keep those in my Notion second brain. If you were curious about my second brain in Notion and how I use it to organize all of my life's information, then this video is the next one to check out. In that one, we go through all of the sections that I use to keep myself organized. So click or tap on that one and I'll see you over there.